The 2K Sports pregame show.
Hey, Ernie Johnson here, and I'm joined by Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. And tonight our broadcast will be shifting to Minneapolis, where we'll see the Timberwolves going up against the San Antonio Spurs. Well, for San Antonio, so far their season hasn't gone the way they or their fans expected it to. Listening to the coaches and players, they say the effort has been there.
Clouds passing high over the 10th Avenue Bridge and the Mississippi River here in Minneapolis. A gorgeous scene. Home court belongs to the Timberwolves in this one as we bring you a Western Conference matchup here live from the Target Center in Minneapolis. Thanks for joining us as we get set to bring you NBA basketball on 2K Sports. And David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, Kawhi Leonard has been a great defender from day one, but he has developed into an elite offensive player as well. Now, Greg Popovich says he basically tells me what he wants to do now. He knows he has a green light. I think that's the difference.
And they need him to be that way, D.A. Thank you, especially after Tim Duncan's retirement and Manu and TP getting older. This is Kawhi's team now, for sure. Kevin, when you're talking about influences, you mentioned Chris Webber's name a lot.
Yeah, see, Webb was kind of, he and Stacey Augmon was at a time where I was trying to find myself as a player.
Search for a roadmap, maybe, who do I most resemble?
Not only that, but just some direction. At the time I was a big who had handles, and if you know anything about Southern coaches, they don't want their big handling the ball. So you get the ball up to a guard or whatever. It wasn't until I got to Chicago to where the scouts or, people were able to see, like, wow, this big can actually handle the ball. He has handle a little bit. And then my high school coach would actually make me bring the ball up to show off and showcase.
No kidding.
I hated it. I was like,
God.
But
look at what happened.
Bring the ball up. And he knew that turning, I could handle it. I was like, oh my God, I hated this. And he knew I would go and dunk him on. I was like, man, I don't want to shoot. He was like, no, bring the ball up. Anyways.
And the starting group for the Spurs, the defensive tandem of Green and Leonard outside. Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. And it's Parker in at the 1. And the dunk by Towns.
Boy, that's terrific vision on the part of Butler. Knows the offense is not created in a vacuum. Keeps the teammates involved. Always puts a smile on their face.
Screen by Parker. The pass to Aldridge. Parker with it. Jones covering. 5 on the clock. There's Parker with the 3. They get it back. Leonard, the pass to Parker. Aldridge a screen. Parker kicks to Green. The dish now to Aldridge. Over Jones. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Jones. Fast break, Minnesota. And Wiggins with the basket on the assist by Butler. Wiggins has got his first basket of the night.
Boy, they came ready to play. That's 4 straight buckets to start the game.
Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Aldridge a screen. Parker dishes to Leonard. Gasol a screen on Wiggins. Count that one. Leonard's got his second bucket tonight. And Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
Those are great coaches. I've had very, very little time with those guys.
Maybe in all-star games and things like that.
I have. But, when you do all-star games, you let yourself go. You open up yourself to try to, be there and be present with the guys. Yes. Open up, hey, what's up? What's been up with you? How's the year for y'all? Y'all playing well. We're going to beat y'all when we see y'all, blah, blah, blah. But, you're very cordial. And, you're not talking too much about X's and O's. But you do share perspectives. You do share, philosophies. Pop is a great mind. I had the chance to sit with him a couple times. Phil's a great mind. Phil's super deep and loves the philosophy of I haven't had a lot of time with those guys. Doc Rivers, shout to Doc, and I know he doesn't get a lot for his philosophies, but he's very enriched with philosophies and styles and bringing teams together and trying to make sure that guys stay connected, stimulated. He would always tell us to never get bored with the process.
Wow, that's so intriguing. Interesting to hear. Screen by Parker. Green against Butler. Shoots from the baseline, and Green gets it to go. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did,
which I did,
yes,
and so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, coming home through the weekends. I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman, wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you, and you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider.
I think Wiggins will always be remembered in that monster trade for Kevin Love a while ago. You don't see many trades like that in the NBA.
Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently.
I call it dialed in. I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, I only know one way to accomplish something. You go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
You can't walk through the park with this game,
not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true.
Yeah, and the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
I think they've got to ramp up the pressure. There's no excuse for letting them score at will in the paint. Make them feel you.
Kevin, your last couple years, you got to mentor some young players. Karl Anthony Towns comes to mind. How good do you think he can be?
Man, Cat is the next. He is what I call the next of the next. Yes, he has the pedigree. He has the work ethic. He has the IQ. Most importantly, the desire. When you talk about players being better, I always like to think about if players know history. He understands history. He's been here before. If you follow him through his high school years, he's always wanted to be an anchor. He's always wanted to be a very informative person. He looks for knowledge. He seeks a lot of knowledge. He wants to know what he's up against as far as history. Who am I chasing? What's his number? How many rebounds did he get? What did he do his rookie year? That's what's driving him.
Dishes it to Jones. Towns, a screen on Parker. Butler in the corner. Right side Gibson. Feeds it to Towns. And Gibson kicks to Towns. Jones with it. His last outing, he had 8 points. Gibson the screen. In the corner, it's Wiggins. Minnesota needs to get off a shot here. Butler. Good, and the assist goes to Towns. Butler's got his second bucket of the game to go. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing. Wow. Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. You know, I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
Pass to Towns. Back to Wiggins. Shoots over Leonard. And Wiggins gets it to go on the assist by Towns. Towns has got 3 assists in the game. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You know, you got to do progressions where right after the game you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs, just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. You know, when we was in Boston, we lifted every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to B-Do. Brian Du, who was our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players. Players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you know, you practice. But after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. Spurs trail by 11. And Leonard has it in the corner. To the inside. Fouled in the act of shooting. A three-point play chance coming up. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Did you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. You know, I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor. You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times, or coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood.
Like Doc was kind of in between, when he little bit of emotion, but he could also have a calming demeanor on that side.
Doc was on fire. I'm sorry. There was nothing calming about Doc.
I'm trying to cover Doc's back here.
No, shout out to Doc. Doc would rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You needed to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play you absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So that's important.
San Antonio calls timeout. Last time they met was in San Antonio.
And really a resounding loss the last time they matched up. They got absolutely manhandled on the boards.
Sometimes it's about gang rebounding, making sure everyone's in on the responsibility to board it. Let's see if it's more of a group effort tonight.
The shots been coming from tonight. Here's a look broken down by paint, mid-range, and three-point shot attempts so far for the Timberwolves.
And you can see how important those inside baskets are. This is a team that loves to work the ball inside, whether the entry pass or off of a drive. They like to feed on those high percentage looks.
Timberwolves leading by 11. Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against down low? Let's pick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people. I've always said Rasheed Wallace. I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the two that brought a different level of play out of me. But shout to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. Like, he was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his
No kidding.
I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot, because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards and able to laterally to slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
Mahinmi passes to Brooks. And Muhammad has it in the corner. And Gorgui Dieng is going to pick up the foul. That's his first foul. Spurs trail by 9. Outside Gasol. Ginobili kicks to Mills. That falls. Nice feed that time for Manu Ginobili. Mills has got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. The feed now to Muhammad. Kicks it out to Crawford, to the middle. Here's Mahinmi. And it's Mahinmi finishing it off.
That's how it's done, my man. Jan Mahinmi attacks the rim. No one gets in his way.
26 seconds left in the first quarter. Fast break, Minnesota. And here's Crawford. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. Now here's Brooks, covered by Mills. From deep. And so it's Minnesota holding on to an 8-point lead heading into the break. They've dictated the pace, pushed the ball at every chance, and it's paying off for them. Right back after this break. San Antonio Spurs have really popularized that unselfish offensive style of play. Manu Ginobili talked about their Spurs approach.
Attack and find the open teammate, not try to solve problems by ourselves. It's something that we've never done, and every time we did it, it's not us.
There's a lot to be said for knowing, Greg, who you are and what your game plan is, and there may be no other team that gets that better than the San Antonio Spurs.
And Kevin, it helps to have that core of Manu and Tony there as the foundation, and coaches on the floor for each new wave of players that have come through this Spurs organization.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Timberwolves?
They're just not sitting back. They are going for steals, and their activity has been terrific.
It has, Greg, no doubt. Love that they've gotten after it on the defensive end. Just continue to put pressure on.
Brooks out there with Crawford. Then there's Shabazz Muhammad. Then there's Ian Mahinmi. And it's Dieng in at the 4. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Now here's Mills. D right on him. And that's out of bounds. San Antonio will retain possession. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. You look at Minnesota. They've got the #1 record in the conference, and because of it, each night out, their competition is going to bring it right at them. And checking out San Antonio. Not really any threat right now, as their record showing a lot more losses.
And you know, right now for San Antonio, their season has been exactly the kind of misadventure their fans were afraid it might be.
And with the major changes we know are coming, now you have players fighting for their jobs, trying to prove they deserve to be here beyond the end of this season.
Brooks outside. Back to Crawford. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Muhammad dishes to Mahimi. Jang inside, defended by Anderson. Jang, no luck.
Well, it looks like he's going to get the easy 2 points, but the defense recovers just in time to effect it.
Gay with no one around. San Antonio again missing. Kevin, we've all seen the evolution of the perimeter style offense. Do you think it'll ever go so far that we'll see the game come back to an inside-oriented offensive scheme?
I think right now that with pace being the way it is now, Kev, I don't see it necessarily going through or going back to playing through the post. Although you have to have an alternative. I think that you just can't be all three-pointers and layups. I think you have to have a constant flow of inside-outside. I think it helps to have a post player. I think having a post player or a true post player that can score and dominate the middle opens up threes and opens up ball movement.
You played during the transition too, didn't you? From a grinded out type of game inside to spacing that we have now.
I did, and I'd like to say that, you know, Doc Rivers started the small ball, and, you know, we were very, very keen on the small ball. So I think in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the three now and be able to handle the ball and put the ball on the floor and make decisions. So it shows that the game is transforming.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, the Spurs have never been the flashy team in the NBA. Tony Parker said beautiful basketball is playing the right way. Ball movement, pure, beautiful basketball is the way we've played. You have all sorts of fans, and there should be something for everybody. Kevin, he told me a long time ago, if we were in New York, people would love us.
And during Popovich's time in San Antonio, the Spurs have always played together, D.A. Got to respect their team-first approach to the game.
You know, my guess right now is Coach wants to talk over this turnover issue, and it seems like they've been trying to force things a bit and need to find a steady rhythm offensively.
Substitution now for Minnesota. Towns, he's checked in for Mahinmi. Wiggins comes in for Muhammad. Jimmy Butler, he's checked in for Jamal Crawford. And Jones subbed in for Brooks. San Antonio also making some changes. LaMarcus Aldridge, he's checked in for Gasol. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Anderson. And it's DeJounte Murray in for Manu Ginobili. Regular season grind, 82 games in the regular season. In your opinion, is that the right amount of games for teams to play, or would you like to see the schedule shortened where there's more practice in between, more days of rest, more days to recuperate?
Man, look.
You got a big smile on your face.
For the old school, Kev, you know, 82 games is how you got to come through it. This is, listen.
It's a war, isn't it?
Listen, it is. And you know what? This is the tradition of it, man. This is what it is, bro. If you don't want to go through this and go through this hall and this road of this journey, then cool. Go to another league. They got shorter games. They got other awards that you can, you know. This is the NBA. This is what it is. This is the grind of it. And ones that have come before you have done it, just like the ones that's after you is going to do it. This is what it is, bro.
Kevin, you were a mainstay All-Star Week. You've seen everything there. If it were up to you, would you make any changes in All-Star Week in the events and the way everything is kind of carried out? You've went to so many.
I have. And you know what? Each city gives you a true essence of its own identity. I would like to see each city get a chance to host. regardless of if it's big enough or not. I think that each city has the ability to host. I think each city...
if you're with the family, then you should be able to host in the family, right?
Well, not only that, but just think about what All-Star is, man. It's an event. It's a family event. And each city wants to be able to show you their best thing about their city.
And it's Butler missing. Spurs trail by 11. Puts it up from 12. And the wide open shot from Green. San Antonio again missing. Kevin, you were so successful jumping from high school to pros. What do you think about the current situation now, the age of 19, the minimum to go to the draft?
You know, I'm always be a fan of the younger kids being able to have the opportunity. I don't like when you put parameters. I can see if college was really teaching these kids and really giving them a solid situation to be able to have something to defer to. But, you know, these kids are not learning at the rate that you would like them to learn in college. And plus, they're not staying in college to these great institutions to be able to apply some of the things they're learning. So I just think that they need...
They're basketball
players, but they should have the opportunity to take advantage of if you're able to play at 17, 18 like I was. Not saying that every kid's going to have that, but you have obviously the D-League. You have all these multiple leagues throughout the world and where kids go to play. You know, some kids have missed out just because of that 1 year and some mishaps. And you sit here, you can say, you know, for business is good for this. Listen, the business is what it's going to be. We need to develop and have these kids be professionals more than anything. We need to grow these kids from a skill level and an appetite level. Our game was built off of wanting to be better than the ones that's come before us. You know what I'm saying? Lou Alcindor came in here. He was, a.k.a. obviously Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was more encouraged to beat out Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell more than anything. And then that starts to trickle down from the effect of from Jordan wanting to be better than Larry Bird and Magic to Kobe wanting to be better than, you know, it's the same thing. It's being trickled down. And when I think of greatness, I think, you know, it's going to follow. It's going to be shadows, and at some point it's going to mimic.
Kevin, with intentional fouling, with poor free throw shooters being sent to the line currently, the hack of Drummond, hack of Shaq, I mean, all this stuff, hack of DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on all that?
You know what? I like it. You know what it's going to do? It's
part of the strategy?
It's going to put the strategy, and this is part of it. And you know what you got to do? It's going to make all those guys you just named work on their free throw. Because if any advantage that you have in the game, coaches are going to expose it. Coaches are going to expose all weak points, as they should, as any sport, and as any great is going to expose any weaknesses in defenses. He's going to look to expose those things. So this is one of the things that dictates the game, and these guys are going to have to be better. It's going to push them. It's going to make them better players.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
And Zhang kicks to Towns, and he banks in the layup. Towns has got 4 points this quarter.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
Gay outside, and again it's San Antonio with a three.
And Gay is quick at getting his shot off. Can't give this guy any separation, even as the pass is coming his way.
Towns, no luck.
Not the kind of strong finish it should have been. Something threw him off.
Murray, the pass to Gay. The putback, it's good on the putback.
Oh, great timing. He is one tough customer on that offensive play.
You know, it's like he has a sixth sense of where that rebound is going.
Well, you can see that Gorgui Zhang takes that long frame and adds tons of muscle, now able to weather the contact.
Leonard against Zhang. Leonard dishes to Aldridge, and stolen by Wiggins. And the dunk by Towns.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, and he was so quick to break on that one. A good sign that he read the play.
At balls, nice feed that time from Wiggins. And it's an 8-point Timberwolves lead.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
Murray kicks to Leonard. It's Gay on the way. Covered by Wiggins. Pass to Murray. Doesn't go that time. Towns with the defensive effort. Here's Butler. Timberwolves passing it around. And the dunk by Towns.
I think this is just one of those nights scoring the basketball. Towns is just showing off.
Spurs trail by 10. Now Murray, currently averaging almost 6 points a game. Leonard, no good. They had a chance to end the run there.
Well, it's not the defense that caused that miss. That one's all on him.
Towns, the screen. Jones, the pass to Towns. Kicks it to Butler. Fires for three. Good on the triple. Butler's got the lead up to 13 now for the Timberwolves.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Murray kicks to Green. Pass to Leonard.
And how about the evolution of Leonard's game over time? From role player to full-fledged star, a dynamite also defensively.
The Spurs shooting their 6th and 7th free throw attempts tonight.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Taj Gibson's checked in for Jang. Shabazz Muhammad comes in for Andrew Wiggins. Jamal Crawford, he's checked in for Jimmy Butler. And Brooks subbed in for Tyus Jones. Nailed from three-point land. And it's 9 points for Aaron Brooks.
And not a great start for him in the first, but he's quickly starting to turn it around.
Leonard inside. Muhammad covering. Brooks against Parker. Knocked away. Now the pass to Towns. Gibson dishes to Muhammad for three. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
Defensively, they just look out of sync, not closing out on the threes in time.
Adding a lot of flavor to the mix, Kevin Garnett. Kevin, thanks for stopping by. Always a pleasure. Hope you join us again sometime.
Man, Kevin, it's always a pleasure, man. It's always great to see you, man. Anytime you need me, you holler at me, all right?
Future Hall of Famer and a terrific person, Kevin Garnett. And Doris, one of the things that really strikes me about KG, he's as smart as he is athletically gifted. What a treat to have him join us tonight.
Well, I'm in awe of his enthusiasm. And it's not just when he's talking, but when others are talking as well. There's so much life to the conversation. Everything he brought to the court for 21 years, he now brings to the booth.
And I love the momentum he's building. Last game, he was just as dominant.
Well, there's no doubt this guy's on a hot streak right now. That's why he keeps getting the ball in this one. They're like, hey, we're going to feed the hot hand.
Miami's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. Pau Gasol is checked in for San Antonio.
Boy, what a tough night. Imagine what their lead would be if he were having a better night from the field.
And they pick up two.
And able to get it done once again in close. Just one of the ultimate finishers at the rim.
Brooks outside. "12 seconds left here in the second. Lets the three fly. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Gibson. It's been all about Karl Anthony Towns for Minnesota. He got into double digits for the quarter with 10 points total. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Kevin, thank you. Andrew, the energy and effort were apparent throughout that first half. How were you able to do it?
We had a good practice, working hard, really putting things together. Keep doing it and come out with a W.
Hey, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David, and we'll be right back after halftime to start the third quarter. See you in just a bit.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. What a start it was for Karl Anthony Towns. He had 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. And Shaq, what do you think about what we saw from Minnesota?
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense had a great flow to it. It prevented anyone from getting lazy out there. They're always moving, cutting, knowing where they need to pass the ball.
And over to Kenny. What did you think about the Spurs?
Their lack of execution surprised me. You know, they had a lot of turnovers off sloppy ball handling, which goes back to the fundamentals. And I know we say it all the time, just make the simple play. And this is why. Without giving away possessions, they'd be a lot closer in this game.
And that wraps up halftime as the game is set to get back underway.
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment. Kawhi Leonard really... Doris, it's been said that you started playing basketball in the second grade. How did your love of this sport become so evident so early?
Yeah, you know, I moved to the Jersey Shore when I was 7 years old. There was a park right next door. And, you know, I'm the last of 8 kids. My family didn't have a ton of money, but boy, all I needed was a rim and a basketball, and I could spend 6, 7, 8 hours. My mother used to call me back in from the park to have lunch or dinner. I just spent my entire childhood on the hard court next door dribbling away.
Were you naturally good at it, or did you feel like you had to work at it, or did you just feel like I got a knack for this?
No, I think, you know, obviously when you play the game from 7 years old, you pick up on a lot of the nuance, and as in anything, you have to work hard at something to be good at it. And
right.
It didn't feel like work because I love basketball.
It shows even now. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. On the court for San Antonio. Filling out the wings, it's Green and Leonard. Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. And it's Parker in at the point guard position. And not a good shot for him. They can get better looks than that. Jones the pass to Wiggins. Here's Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
Well, late rotation by the defense, and Wiggins has the vision to find the open man.
The Spurs come into this one following a loss to Dallas.
And no matter how well you defend, when you shoot that poorly, it's going to be a very difficult challenge for you to get a win.
Yeah, I thought too many hard shots. I don't know whether it was a question of strategy or if guys were just unwilling to work for something better.
That one goes in, and now it's a 12-point Timberwolves lead.
If Taj Gibson gets around the rack, you understand this guy is going to make an opportunity.
Aldridge kicks to Gasol. Good, and Aldridge gets the assist. Aldridge has got 3 assists in the game.
A huge mistake, letting him establish that kind of position down low.
That's going in every time. Shocking that they let him get so comfortable down there.
Parker kicks to Aldridge. And he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. Aldridge has got 6.
His mid-range game is what sets Aldridge apart from the other bigs in our league. He's about as accurate a shooter as you'll find among players with his size. 3 for 3, and that's always a good way to start the second half.
Outside, Green. Aldridge a screen. Outside, Green. Got a piece of it. And it's out of bounds. The Spurs able to retain possession here. We take a look here at the shot chart for the Spurs.
Well, that is what it looks like when you are in the zone. He's been very efficient with his scoring and is leading the way for his team on offense. With every make, you can see the confidence growing. And I don't think he'll slow down anytime soon.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over. And the Spurs, Greg, one of the best defensive teams in the league for 2 seasons running.
And it's really all about execution. They seem to just move in concert and stay connected. No silly fouls. And with their length, nothing easy inside.
Let's go to the 2K leaderboard. These teams have been terrific at turning turnovers into points. The Timberwolves, number 1. Number 5, the Spurs.
And these two squads really know how to capitalize on mistakes. When they get going in transition, look out.
Aldridge misses.
Boy, that's high-impact defense in the lane, standing tall to deny the easy bucket.
And racing up the court, you have a number of options and a great decision there.
I love how he took the initiative, right? You took charge of the opportunity and made the right decision.
Aldridge a screen. Green kicks to Leonard. Over Wiggins. And it's Leonard missing. Timberwolves leading by 12. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession.
And now a quick review at the numbers for Towns. Averaging about 27 points per, 19 rebounds, and 5 assists. He has been terrific throughout, putting up some huge numbers offensively.
Well, and this is exactly who he is, a flat-out scoring machine. You plug him in and let him go to work.
That's one of his specialties, just squaring up from medium range.
You know, Greg, what a luxury to have a guy with size who can make that shot.
But only the first miss of the second half. They've come out here with authority.
Parker with it. Butler covering. Aldridge's shot is good.
Well, you can see he's feeling it right now. Shots dropping from all over the place this quarter.
The Timberwolves have gotten 4 of their first 5 second-half shots to fall. 80% since the break. Butler dishes to Gibson. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
Well, Taj Gibson, a terrific athlete, easily gets off the floor to finish with authority.
Spurs trail by 10. Parker outside. He feeds it to Green. In the corner, it's Aldridge. Shot clock at 5. Spurs passing it around. And Green with the basket on the assist by Parker. Green's got his second basket of the night.
Extraordinary work from Parker to find his teammate for the open basket. His passing is just phenomenal.
And a wide open look here for Wiggins. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. Green kicks to Parker. And off the front iron, and in it goes. And now it's only a 5-point Timberwolves lead. Here's Butler, and he uses the glass on the layup. Butler's got 9 points.
Well, this is where Butler loves to get to work. Just challenges the heart of this defense.
Aldridge a screen. Parker against Jones. Now here's Leonard. Defense is right there. They get a hand on it. It's stolen by Jones. Goes up, and it's Gibson finishing it off.
And unfortunately, we've seen a few too many of those. A lack of concentration, a turnover, and an easy bucket in transition.
Aldridge a screen. Green kicks to Leonard. Over Wiggins. Count that one. And the Timberwolves lead has been cut to just 7 points in the basket from Leonard.
And he's got the athleticism and strength to be a powerful presence inside. Leonard never afraid to get in and mix it up down low.
Parker right side. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist. That's now 8 points for Tony Parker.
Yeah, I think he was forcing too many shots in the first half. Now the game's coming to him.
And Tony Parker in the 2017 season with the lowest minutes per game average in his career. He was playing so well in the playoffs. I mean, historically well. Then, Greg, as we know, the quad injury in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it's pretty clear that that 15-year run he's had as a starter, that window is rapidly closing, but still effective, just no longer the focal point that he once was.
And Gibson, here we go. Jones, no luck. Spurs trail by 8. Parker outside. Outside, Green. Screen by Parker. Here's Leonard. Another miss by Leonard.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
And the dunk by Towns.
Look out below, an airmail special by Cat.
Here's Parker. 8 points for him. He kicks it to Green. And Butler sends it back. And now here comes Jones leading the break. And it's going to be a 3-second call. Some changes for Minnesota. Shabazz Muhammad's checked in for Andrew Wiggins. Crawford comes in for Butler. And Brooks subbed in for Tyus Jones. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Kyle Anderson, he's checked in for Gasol. Gay comes in for Kawhi Leonard. Manu Ginobili's checked in for Green. It's Mills in for Parker. And it's Aldridge missing.
Yeah, you love the solid screen, but what you hate is just the inability to finish.
You know, that's okay, I think. Even though they miss, they still have to be happy with the shot selection.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
You know, and I'm not seeing any urgency out of this defense, especially considering the deficit in the score.
And maybe pushing too hard at this point, getting a little desperate.
Yeah, it certainly looks like they're forcing it. They're trying to make quick, hard decisions instead of focusing on making the right play.
Here's what Minnesota's going with right now. Mahimi's checked in for Karl Anthony Towns. And Andrew Wiggins is subbed in for Brooks. Gibson passes to Muhammad. Lock at 6. He dishes it to Mahimi. And Gibson kicks to Wiggins. Drills the three-pointer. Wiggins has got 11 points.
The assist totals, Kevin, just continue to grow. They're way ahead in that category. Ball movement has been flawless.
Now here's Mills, covered by Wiggins, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
You know, with the influx of talent that the Wolves have had the last handful of years, they feel a pressure to win. Fans are wondering when all that talent will mature. Expectations are being raised for this group.
And the Timberwolves, Doris, with the longest playoff drought in the league.
Well, and Kevin, I think you have seen tremendous growth with this team the last few years. But remember, they're in the unforgiving Western Conference. I think they believe the infusion of veteran talent gives them an opportunity to make the leap and get to the postseason.
Here's Mahimi. No good with the triple. Spurs trail by 14. And Ginobili wide open. He shoots. Hits it from three-point range. Ginobili's got his second bucket of the game to go.
How about that lefty stroke there from Ginobili? It is a thing of beauty. He is dialed in from deep.
Gay up top. Muhammad covering. And that one goes out of bounds. Nice touch by Muhammad.
And with the chance, let's take a look now at the numbers for Gay. Second in free throw percentage, and he's a defensive ball hawk. You can't let your guard down. Remember, he's 10th in the league in steals per game.
And you never see him get nervous when he steps to the line. That's why he's second in the league in free throw percentage. Anderson right side. Puts it up from 12. Aldridge kicks to Mills. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Knocked away. Wiggins outside. Lets it go with the 3. It's hauled in by LaMarcus Aldridge. And Muhammad gets it to go.
Well, I'll tell you, doing work on the offensive end, Muhammad much more inspired rebounder when it comes to this side.
Mills dishes to Aldridge. The second chance effort. Gay misses.
I'll tell you, his inconsistency not helping their cause at all.
Feeds to Wiggins. 1:27 left here in the third quarter. There's the 3. Buries it from three-point range. Wiggins has got 6 points in the quarter.
Yeah, still working on consistency from range, but improved shot mechanics for Andrew Wiggins.
Mills passes to Gay. Basket number 5 goes in. He's now 5 of 12 from the floor.
And not relying at all on the three-point shot. they may want to rethink about stretching the defense a bit like they did in that first half.
That was what we call a brain fart. Not sure what was on his mind with that one.
That's inexcusable. That kind of shot selection isn't doing anybody any good.
From deep three-point range, Zhang, no luck.
Yeah, and even with his range, that one might be asking a little too much.
Yeah, that zip code might extend beyond his range. My goodness, let's take a better shot next time.
Ginobili with the ball, and Crawford picks him up defensively. Muhammad against Ginobili, just 4 to shoot. Mills, that's a two-pointer, and another basket for San Antonio.
Boy, maybe a little bit selfish to take such a tough shot instead of passing it off, but boy, as long as it's good, he won't hear about it.
Zhang, a screen. Crawford kicks to Zhang. Now the dish to Muhammad. For 3. And the release was before the buzzer, but it's off target. And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. And they've created a bunch of turnovers with that terrific D. And we've got more NBA action on 2K Sports coming your way after this break. A chance now to hear Greg Popovich talking to his team just moments ago.
Cut, play. You just like something magical is going to happen. Okay? You got to make things happen. Let's score here. Let's go get some stops.
And Greg Popovich putting the responsibility on his players to take more action. We'll see if they can get it done.
Yeah, he wants them to just take charge of this game. Don't be passive. Impose your will on the game.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action starting up in what has been a one-sided show. Muhammad is out there with Taj Gibson. Then it's Gorgie Dang. Then it's Andrew Wiggins. And it's Crawford at the shooting guard position. So that's the Timberwolves 5. Launches it. Rebounded by the Spurs. Anderson's got 4 rebounds now tonight. And Mills kicks to Anderson. Dishes it to Ginobili. Here's Mills. Wiggins with the block.
Well, using every bit of that 7-foot wingspan, Wiggins airmailing it back.
And with that shot, the Minnesota lead is cut down now to just 10 points with that basket from Patrick Mills.
Boy, nice feed. Leading him into some space. A nice catch on the run, too. Wow. But he's not known as a flamboyant player by any means, but Zhang puts on a show with that one.
Special thanks to Under Armour for that sweet replay we just saw. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Ginobili dishes to Aldridge. Over Zhang. And Aldridge gets it to go on the assist by Ginobili. 12 points for Aldridge.
They are just killing them on the interior.
To the inside. Here's Zhang. And finished off by Zhang.
Wow, big time size, speed, power combination from Gorgie Zhang. Wow.
Spurs trail by 12. Aldridge with it. Now guarded by Gibson. Mills passes to Anderson. Aldridge inside. Gibson on him. Mills can't hit.
And on an open look like that, he's very gifted at making the weak coverage pay.
Muhammad on the wing. And Gibson kicks to Wiggins. Gibson the screen. Pass to Crawford. Clock at 4. Here's Muhammad. A three-pointer is right on target. And the Timberwolves lead by 15.
What you love about Muhammad, his hands are always ready to catch the ball and his mind trained on the bucket.
We're in the fourth quarter here, just under 2.5 minutes gone. Here's Mills. No good off the front iron.
Well, the defense paying no attention at all to him, and all he can do is throw up a brick. Ouch.
Now here's Gibson to the inside. Wiggins. That one falls through. It's his 6th make from the floor this game. Now 6 for 10.
Well, a case where he dominates in close, but Wiggins so versatile on offense.
And here's Mills from the arc. Sinks the triple.
Timeout.
Mills has got 5 points now in the quarter.
A good look there, and he didn't waste it. His second 3 of the game.
Minnesota calls timeout. Well, with Taj Gibson on the court, you know you're going to get great energy and intensity, and you're going to get it at both ends of the floor.
Yeah, there's no question. The fervor that Gibson plays with on the defensive end, to me, rubs off on his teammates. He never takes a play off. He works endlessly to make life tough for his assignment. This guy is underrated as a defensive force in the NBA.
Minnesota making some changes. Karl Anthony Towns checked in for Jang. Butler comes in for Jamal Crawford. And Tyus Jones subbed in for Shabazz Muhammad. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Pau Gasol is checked in for Aldridge. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Anderson. Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. And Tony Parker is subbed in for Patty Mills. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Hey, Kevin. Well, during the break, I heard Tom Thibodeau as he talked with the team. He still wants them to be aggressive and assertive on offense. He said, I don't want us to get content with this lead. Build on it. Don't give them any chance of getting back in this thing. Kevin?
Well, you love to watch Taj Gibson start to cook on the offensive end. Right now, just playing to his strength.
Gasol a screen. There's the pick. Leonard with no one around. The shot, no good. Timberwolves go the other way with it. And it's Gibson, that time on the assist by Butler. Butler's got his 7th assist of the game with that last one. Spurs trail by 16. Parker dishes to Leonard. Back to Parker, trying his luck deep. And again, it's San Antonio with a 3.
And as soon as Parker catches the ball, he immediately rises up and pulls the trigger. Love to see the confidence on display there.
And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. And the Timberwolves with possession here. Wiggins kicks to Jones. And it's out of bounds, and they say it was last touched by Leonard.
So close to getting the steal there, but the deflection equally as effective.
Right. I mean, that's solid defense. At the very least, you like seeing them muck it up and make things difficult.
Gay kicks to Parker. The feed to Leonard. Gay outside. Passes it to Green. And Karl Anthony Towns pulls it down. Towns has got his 8th rebound here tonight. Here's Wiggins, and it's Wiggins with the jam.
Now, the leaping ability and wingspan of Andrew Wiggins is helping him dominate above the rim.
Good-looking screen by Gasol. Leonard the pass to Parker. Gasol a screen on Jones. Back to Leonard. Shot clock at 5. Gasol a screen, and it's San Antonio with another.
Just reliable, guys. He's just always trying to make the right play.
Wiggins outside. Nice ball movement by Minnesota. Gibson against Parker. Wiggins kicks to Towns, and the dunk by Towns.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam. Spurs trail by 15. Parker with it. Jones covering. Screen by Parker. Here's Gay. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist. Green's got assist number 8 now on the night.
And Gabe works well off the screen. He just has a knack for being in the right place at the right time.
That's a 2 from Butler. And again, it's Minnesota converting.
And he can smell blood in the water. Excellent finish.
I'll tell you, you got to admire the energy. This guy really wants to put this one away.
Parker dishes to Gasol. Screen by Parker. There's Green with the 3. A rebound by the Timberwolves. Their next game is at the American Airlines Center in Dallas for a game with the Mavericks. That'll be just one game played away from home for them. Offensive rebound. Kicks to Butler. Marked down low that time, and he got the 3-second call. LaMarcus Aldridge is checked in for the Spurs. Spurs trail by 15. Doris, we've heard plenty of coaches say it. If you're going to take it to the rack, man, take it strong. Who would you say are some of the more aggressive dunkers that you see in the NBA now?
Yeah, so on his own, creating his own opportunities at the rim, Russell Westbrook comes to mind, LeBron James. Sometimes I feel like he's going to tear the backboard from the stanchion. DeAndre Jordan and Andre Drummond sometimes are the recipients of either offensive rebounding, putback, great dunks. There are so many, Kev, but those are just a couple of names that pop.
And the Antetokounmpo kid in Milwaukee, the way he is so long and seemingly out of place, and then all of a sudden those arms extend another 3 feet and he dunks it and go, wow, how in the world did he reach it? How did he do that?
The guy is like, he's a pterodactyl. The guy can take off from the top of the key and cover ground and throw it down. It's unbelievable.
Whew. Man.
Fantastic ball movement. They're picking them apart with their passing.
Parker kicks to Green. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession. Minnesota leading by 18. Jones for 3. Takes the 3. Minnesota gets it back with a new shot clock. It's stolen by Green. Leonard attacking and sticking right with it. Gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
And he moves so well. When Leonard drives the lane, it's pretty much a guaranteed bucket. Terrific body control, and he plays with the ultimate force.
And Kawhi Leonard, the only player other than Michael Jordan and Hakeem Olajuwon to be an all-star starter. Greg win the Defensive Player of the Year and win a Finals MVP award.
And Kevin, I think it's fair to say that's some lofty company to be in. You know, you're worried with the retirement of Tim Duncan. With the Spurs, go through a lull. And they found another two-way superstar to kind of build their team around, much in the same in terms of mannerisms as a Tim Duncan.
Gasol setting the pick for Parker. Aldridge. And it's good on the assist by Parker. Parker's got 6 assists now in the game. Minnesota leading by 13. To the middle. The kick outside to Butler. Fires the 3. It's rebounded by Leonard. San Antonio's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen.
I tell you what, I'd settle for having as many points in this game as he has rebounds.
You know, you have to be an absolutely tireless worker to rack up 20-plus boards.
Shots good by Butler.
Challenging this D with the 3 ball. That's his second from distance this half. And he also hit one in the first half, too.
Time called here. The Spurs decide to talk it over.
Boy, how bright is the future for Karl Anthony Towns? The guy's already putting up 25 and 12 in his second year. This guy led every big man in double-doubles last year. He dominates every category you want a big man to impact.
The presentation of our Jordan Player of the Game, Karl Anthony Towns.
And guys, he's been about as close to perfection as you can be. The intensity he's played with has been amazing. Just no let up. And as fired up as he's been, he's never let his emotions get out of control.
What a connection he has to these fans. They love him here. And the more he has games like this, the deeper that connection gets. And talking about Towns, Doris, and his double-doubles last season ended up being 3rd overall amongst all players, trailing only Westbrook and Harden. Not bad company at all.
Well, yeah, there's no question. It's amazing to me, Kev, how easy Karl Anthony Towns makes it look. He puts huge numbers up on a nightly basis, and to be honest, he's going to be regarded very soon as the best big man in the league.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead.
A three-pointer, Wiggins. No points to be had here. Misses for the 5th time in 13 tries. Green with the ball. Butler covering. And Gibson sends it back.
Boy, Gibson's so good at timing these rejections. Twice on the pipes from Taj.
And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Towns. Here's Parker. At the elbow, Green. There's the screen. Back to Parker. From beyond the arc. Good, and it's Green picking up the assist. Green's got assist number 10 tonight with that last one. Minnesota leading by 13. And Gibson kicks to Jones. And they come right back with their own three-pointer.
Okay, we got a nice little back and forth going here.
Well, I love how personal this thing is getting. If you drain a 3 on me, anything you can do, I can do better.
Parker with a clean look. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark. Towns. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it. And the Spurs with possession here. It's a 16-point game. Oh, and the jam by Leonard.
Oh, here he comes, and there he goes.
Oh, look at him punish that rim. And it's out of bounds. Last touch by Jones. Spurs trail by 14. Good looking screen by Gasol. Parker kicks to Leonard. Gasol, a screen on Wiggins. Back to Parker. Buries the long-range jumper. Parker's got 9 points in the quarter.
While Parker does not take many threes, when he does, you just have a feeling it's going in. And it looks like just playing the last bit of this one out in what should be a nice win here for the Timberwolves.
Fewer miscues made the difference.
I mean, a great all-around effort. Not only did they minimize their turnovers, but kept the pressure up on D, forcing the other team to commit turnovers.
And so this will now translate to 14 wins on the season.
And they've taken control of the season series. This brings them to 2-0 with 1 game left against this squad.
And we watched them all night long. No one could really stop them. Just another excellent game it was for Karl Anthony Towns.
And the way he rebounded, he surely was a spark for the team as he was securing everything that came off the iron.
Whole new look on the floor for Minnesota. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Laverne, he's checked in for Gasol. Anderson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And Murray's subbed in for Green. From deep, they get it again. Mahinmi passes to Crawford. He feeds it to Brooks. Three-pointer, and he's good on the 3-ball. And the Timberwolves lead by 13.
I'll tell you what, the energy in this arena, you can feel it.
Oh, there's no doubt. This crowd is into it, and it's because of how well their guys have played tonight.
Great job of screening there. Nice job to take it to the rim and get the finish.
So it's Minnesota winning this one easy. Some good competition, but the hometown advantage and their ability to stay focused, I think, made the difference.
Yeah, and the first step in becoming a good team is your ability to win at home. And they really seem to revel in that opportunity. And this is what they came out
out to do.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For